Yo guys, what is good? It's your favorite Supreme Leader, Cameron. And today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make cool little Call of Duty thumbnails. So we're gonna be making this thumbnail right here, but before we do, if you guys could hit that like and subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. Now I actually have to make a Call of Duty live thumbnail, so that's what we're gonna be making in this video, but again, you can use it for anything. I'm using this little WarZone GFX pack by Jonas Sido. Sorry, I don't know how to say that. But either way, I'm gonna leave a link to this in the description. He's got a free pack. But if you're playing any other Call of Duty other than WarZone and you're coming to this video for the tutorial on how to make some good Call of Duty thumbnails, all I would do is just look up the Call of Duty game and then free GFX pack. That's all you gotta do, and you can find some pretty decent ones. I found this one. I think it was actually the top result. I didn't really search for it. It was just there. So we're just gonna look up Call of Duty Warzone Sniper, and we're just gonna grab a random picture. This one will work fine. Yeah, just some random kid. We don't really have to worry about it. We're just gonna save that picture as, and we're going to go and put that in as our background. So obviously this isn't the best quality image, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter too much. I'd recommend, if you're posting for your own video, get a picture from your video, okay? It's gonna make the thumbnail so much better. It's gonna be making it a part of the video. So again, you should probably do that. But now we're gonna go over to our little thumbnail pack, and we actually have a bunch of people in this. So yeah, so you can see, you can go into our PNGs, and we actually have a bunch of people, little cutouts and all that kind of stuff. So we're just in a fun one that we like. I'm gonna go with this one right here. Nice little man's with the gas mask or whatever. And we're just gonna put that up here. Now for our background, we're actually just gonna blur it by 1. So we're gonna use this Gaussian blur here. It's just under blurs if you can't find it. And we're just gonna blur it by 1. And then we're gonna go over to our mans right here. And we're going to go to camera raw filter, and we're just going to change the white balance to auto, and then we're gonna add a +10 texture and +10 clarity. So that's just gonna make him look a little bit cooler. And we're also gonna do the same thing to the background. We can just change the settings. No, we can't. So we're just gonna go auto color balance, and then we're gonna change the texture to 10, not 100. I'm gonna change it to 10 and to 10, just so it looks a little cooler. You can see it's already a lot more vibrant. Now we're gonna go ahead and add our layer right here. Now if you guys can't tell, I'm pretty much doing the same thing that I just did in my how to make thumbnails like rice gum video, but we're doing it for Call of Duty because I know more people are gonna see it this way. So we're gonna add a new layer right here, and we're just going to add some sharpness and contrast. Yes, the adjustments, the brightness and contrast, sorry, not sharpness and contrast. And we are going to not add it to that layer, sorry, my bad. We're going to add it to the adjustment layer that we should have just added. So we didn't even add an adjustment layer, but we're going to now. So now we're going to search up adjustment layer, new adjustment layer, and then we're just going to go to brightness and contrast. See, just like that, we created a new layer, so we actually don't need that one. But now we're going to go brightness and contrast. We're going to turn the brightness up to about a 14, and the contrast up to about 17. I don't know, again, you can play around with it, whatever starts to look decent, I guess. Now we want to go ahead and add some white borders, so we want to change our color to white, and we're just gonna add a little border right here. I would recommend moving the border up to the actual side of the frame so that you can get it perfect every time. You don't have to like try and guess your alignment. So again, just go there, and then we're just duplicating these all the way along the sides, and then change the angle to 90 degrees, and move that down there, stretch it all the way along, never mind, stretch it all the way along, and then duplicate it again and move it all the way up. And there we go. Now we have a nice little white border, but that's not the border we want, so we want to move this. So we want to merge all the shapes until it's one thing. We're going to move it above the brightness and contrast layer if it's not already, so it's on the very top. And then we want to go over to whatever this is right here. We can change all the lights and we want to make it an overlay. So you can see it's going to give us this cool little light border around the sides. And then we want to give it a drop shadow as well. So we're going to go into the drop shadow. And this looks actually pretty cool, the spread. We're just going to keep it like a 67. And then, you know, you can move the size up and down depending however much you like it. Obviously, you want to put the distance in 0, otherwise it's not going to be in the right place. And now, again, we're going to click on our mans right here, the character that we're using, and we want to go stroke. Again, if you're more of a personality channel, what you can actually do is make this guy right here. You can make it a picture of yourself if you wanted to. You could definitely do that, no problemo. But we're adding the stroke, and then we're gonna add like a similar drop shadow, but we're actually gonna turn the spread down, and then we're gonna move the distance up a little bit so that it's more like dispersed or whatever. Now here you gotta make a decision if you want your commands above the border or you want it below. If you want him above the border, again, you just have to move the brightness and contrast layer above. Doesn't really make too much of a difference where it is, to be honest. Now I realize we actually have a sniper in the background, which is already kind of a problem. We really just want more of a just a plain background. So we're just gonna look up Call of Duty WarZone first person view. Okay, so we're changing our background image to just this random picture of this dude on the map. Again, it doesn't really matter. We're add a small little Gaussian blur of 1 again, just to make him separate himself in the background a little bit. We're then gonna go back over to the camera raw filter again, change the white balance to auto and the texture to 10 and 10. Gonna give us a nice little cooler, little bit of a cleaner look in my opinion. And we're gonna go back to the WarZone GFX Pack, and we're gonna get a weapon, whatever weapon you want. I'm gonna go for a sniper because let's be honest, snipers are the coolest weapon in the game. And let's just get the bottom one because let's be honest, the bottom ones are always the better ones. And we're just gonna add it in right here, just wherever you want, wherever fits good in your thumbnail. Have it all the way from the bottom to the top, just like that. That looks nice and cool. Looks like we're holding a sniper dropping in on the map. Now we want to go to just above. So we want to click on our background now and add a new layer. So we're placing a new layer just above it. Now you can do 2 things depending on how you're feeling, depending on how creative your thumbnail style is going to be. So we're going to go to the paintbrush, and you want a fairly big paintbrush. Now for starters, we're just going to put the hardness on like a 70. Now I'm going to put it like a 67, doesn't really make too much of a difference. And we're just going to get a cool little color. I like orange, just like we did in the FaZe Banks thumbnail on how to make good thumbnails like rice gum. And we're just going to paint this layer just like this. Why can't we paint over here? I guess we just had a small little problem. We're running into the gun right here, so we just want to cut the gun off. So, you know, just delete that bit right there. If you're getting into the same problem where you can't paint that part of the background, just do that. And now you can see we got that little bit as orange. We just want to go back over to this little bar right here, and we're going to put it as a soft light. You can see it gives us that nice little effect right there. Or if we wanted to be even more creative, we could change the colors to something, you know, a little more bright. Let's go like a you know what, let's just continue with the red and just paint the rest of the frame. Yeah, so let's just get a red and continue with the rest of the frame. Now, if you don't be continuing with the rest of the thing, you want to change your hardness to 100%. Otherwise, you are going to get gaps. And then we just paint the rest of this as red. And you can see we get this cool little fully colored effect. Just like that. Now, I don't really want my thumbnail to be like that, to be honest. If you want really colorful thumbnails that stand out, you can do that. Also, another thing we forgot to do is add the stroke and the drop shadow to the gun right here. Again, we're just adding an outside stroke. Again, we're just adding an outside stroke of 10, and then we go to the drop shadow, and we're just gonna add a bit of a probably like a 63% spread, and then we got to move the size down a lot. 35 looks pretty decent. I don't want any of this red, so I'm just gonna erase the red just like that. We're gonna keep that orange bit because I think that looks kind of sick. So now it's time for some text. So I'm in one of my GFX packs. This is for 2K. I'll leave this one in the description. Again, it's another free GFX pack. I already made a video on this one, making a thumbnail with this GFX pack. You can see we could have chosen any of these texts right here. This purple one right here, and that one down below are my favorite. I'm gonna have all of these styles as an option in the download of this template, so you can see you can change the text or whatever here. But I think I'm gonna go with the rice gum style text that I showed you guys how to make in my last thumbnail tutorial. And this is a very similar to a rice gum thumbnail. I'm actually copying it pretty much directly. It's pretty much the same tutorial, but for Call of Duty. So we're using the Bebis Noon text. And again, for this, we're going Cameron Un is live. We're going to warp the text in an arc style, and we're going to change the bends to a 10, and we're going to change the horizontal distortion to a 10 as well. Actually, we might go a -10. And we're going to change the vertical distortion probably to an 8. Kind of looks cool. Again, the distortion is something really just to play with. I don't really understand it 100%. Kind of just warps things in a certain direction. I think it looks cool, so that's why I'm using it. Then just gonna move the text over somewhere that I want it. Make it nice and big on this part of the screen right here. We can probably make it bigger. It's a live thumbnail, so we're just gonna make it as big as possible. I'm then gonna go to stroke, and we're gonna, again, we need an outside stroke of 5. We go a black stroke. This is the exact same as we did in the rice gum tutorial. We're then gonna duplicate this, and then we're gonna go to stroke again on the bottom one, change it to a 10. And something I forgot to do on this top one was change the stroke opacity to a 75%. You could not really tell the difference right now, but trust me, you will be able to. And then we want to go over to rasterize type, and then rasterize layer style. And now we're going to be able to change this to an overlay, and we're going to get this cool little like 3D kind of pop out effects right here. I think it looks kind of sick, to be honest. And then we're going to go to add a drop shadow to that part. I'm probably going to change the spread up a little higher so it's more like defined. And then obviously we turn the spread up, we're going to turn the size down. Probably make it like a nice little 10 or something like that. Again, I think that looks pretty cool. Now, just like the last thumbnail, I think this looks a little bit too plain for my liking. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to duplicate this man right here. I'm gonna turn off all of his effects. So we're gonna turn off the drop shadow and the stroke for the guy on top. And we're gonna move him very down to the bottom. Now, something that I noticed that's actually just annoyed me is I actually had the stroke on the inside layer for him. So we actually want to turn it to the outside layer as 10. That looks a lot better. Thought something was off there, but okay, we fixed that now. So now we're going to turn this guy, and we're just going to slightly move him out of frame, so you can kind of see it's got like this cool little duplicate effect or whatever. And then we actually want to go to filter, and we're going to blur it. So we're going to go Gaussian blur, and we're going to change it to probably like a 10. Yeah, it gives it like a cool little effect. We're then going to duplicate that again. I kind of just want to put it around the place. Maybe just spin him this way or whatever. You can't really tell what it is, but it definitely adds a lot more texture. Can't do too much on that side in terms of adding things because it's not colored. But what we can definitely add is emojis. So this thumbnail pack, pretty much most thumbnail packs you buy don't have emojis. This one does not, but if you download some other WarZone GFX packs, I'm sure they'll have emojis in them and that kind of stuff. So you can see, I really just want the fire emojis, so we're just gonna click on them. So you can see we're just gonna litter some emojis around the place just to give it a little more vibrancy. There's a lot more stuff going on. It looks cool. There's not as much empty space, just to help draw people in. Obviously we want it underneath the text, not above the text, but put that here, move it underneath the text, and we're gonna just move it so it's a nice little three-piece right here. Again, these thumbnails are over the border, so we should probably just move all the emojis below the border. Again, just little things that you can do to make your thumbnails look a little bit cooler. Again, I wouldn't recommend copying this exact thing. Don't just go download it. Again, so let's fix a few little things. Nothing we really need to worry about. Just a minor things, I guess. So I think this looks pretty solid, if I'm being 100% honest. Probably might change the color of the text to make it stand out a little more. Don't think it quite stands out enough for me. But either way, I think this thumbnail looks pretty good. Again, I'm gonna have a link in the description to download this thumbnail as a PSD file so you can see everything that I've done if you want to do that. I hope this video helped you make some cool thumbnails. I'm probably gonna be dropping some other thumbnail tutorials. I don't know, editing tutorials. I don't know, I'm literally just gonna be dropping anything I like. WarZone videos, 2K videos, news videos, NBA videos, IRL videos, pretty much anything is gonna be on this channel. So there's gonna be something on here for you. So if you guys could hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'm out. See ya.